What's up, Friendly Temple family? Minister Mike Jones here, coming to you for our Youth and Young Adult Spotlight. And I'm very excited today to welcome our own guest, Brother Keith Jones Jr., to the show. What's going on, Brother Keith? How are you, man?
Man, I'm doing good, feeling blessed, man. How you doing, Mr. Mike?
All is well. All is well. Listen, Friendly Temple family, this has been an interview that's been in the works for probably over a year. We've been trying to make this happen. And Brother Keith, his mother, Miss Sharon Davis, who many of you know, is in St. Louis now. But I'm so eager for you all to hear this interview and hear about Keith and all the amazing things that he is up to. So let's just dive right in. Keith, can you just open up and let the people know a little bit about you? Tell us about your background, where you grew up, man, what your college experience was, and what you're doing now.
All right, name Keith Jones Jr. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I went to high school over at McClure North High School, one of the greatest high schools in the area. Gotta love my high school, love my community. Um, Honestly, I've been in having a football background for as young as I can remember. Ever since I was maybe 7 years old, I was playing it. Started off playing football at Matthews Dickey, then went on, switched on to the other side of town and played out there with the Raiders and went to Spanish Lake, played with Spanish Lake
Yeah.
Titans, and then eventually joined Cowboys and went over to McClure North right soon after. It's been a long journey, just the football alone and just carrying on this journey of football is just crazy. Just with places I've been, the places it took me just around the world, it's just so amazing. After I got done with McClure North, I played basketball, football, and then I participated in track and field. We were very good when I was in high school. We won two state championships in basketball, nationally ranked. I was a four-time All-State in track at the
Wow.
discus thrower, one-time All-State as a shot put thrower. Still hold the school record and the sectional record for discus over in the
Wow.
area. Um, Trying to think, it was so many fun times growing up in the area and just embracing the journey that I've been on. It's just been amazing. So I after I got done with high school, I went on to play college football at the University of Tennessee Martin down in Martin, Tennessee, a small Division I school. And man, how I got there is just like how I got there really was by faith, honestly. Like I probably got offered by I don't know how many schools, a lot of different schools, and for some reason God led me to go to UT Martin, little old UT Martin. I've had bigger schools offer me, and I was committed to a different school, a bigger school at the time, and for some reason when I went on my visit and I loved it there, I just knew like this was it, like this is where I need to be. And I took some visits to a couple schools that were some pretty fun places and places I could see myself being. And for some odd reason, little old UT Martin called me and snatched me on up. So, spent my 4.5 years there. Graduated with a bachelor's degree in health and human performance, and then went on to play in Arena League football soon after. So I played in Iowa 2017, played for Iowa Barnstormers 2018. I was first team all league. We won the championship for the league. And then 2019, that's where things kind of took a turn for me. I moved on to Arizona, played at Arena Ball, Arizona, and actually got hurt
Mm.
playing out there. Actually, last game of the season before the playoffs.
Wow.
On an amazing play I made. It's kind of funny because I had to talk about my story yesterday at work and present it to some people on our staff, and it was kind of I showed them the play of everything that happened. It's like that's a way to go out, on top.
Mm.
My last football play ever, 2019, and I hurt myself. So soon after that, I rehabbed, went back to St. Louis, finished coaching up football at McClure North, coach girls basketball. I love basketball. I'm a basketball kid at heart first, and especially
Okay.
women's basketball. Me and my mom talk about women's basketball all
Yeah.
day. You can see our text thread. We ain't talking about nothing but college basketball the whole year. Like she know I'm gonna text her mom. The game started at 8 o'clock. The game started at 9. So that's one of the things that I enjoy watching. I enjoy evaluating, and it's some good ball that's being played, nowadays. So that's one of the things I hold true and dear to my heart. So after that, I went on to coach at Missouri Southern. Got my first
Mm.
coaching opportunity at the next level at Missouri Southern State University down in Joplin, Missouri during the COVID year 2020. Went down there literally. It's crazy how God works because I went down there 2 weeks before the shutdown happened. So I go down there for 2 weeks. I get this job, go down there for 2 weeks, and shutdown happened. So we go get sent back home for about 2 months. And if I would have waited any longer, probably wouldn't have had a job during that time. Or if I would have, it would have been still working at the high school and not coaching at the college level. So we do that, go through the whole year. Head coach gets fired, gets hit with sanctions and everything. So now I'm going to find another job, and it led me to Lane College, a Division II down in Jackson, Tennessee. And I literally was there for, I would say, 48 hours, and I received a phone call from Arkansas State University, and then one of my mentors called on behalf of them, wanted me to go there. I let the head coach know at Lane that they wanted to interview me for a lesser role, but with a bigger opportunity.
Yeah.
So I let him know, and he said, "Hey, if you accept the interview, just know you fired from here."
Wow.
So I said, "Okay, cool. You don't have to tell me no more." It's those type of people in life that kind of push you. They kind of push you, to be better. Like, okay,
yeah.
if that's how I see your true colors, okay, now I gotta make sure I go out here and get it for real.
Yeah.
So I did that interview. I interviewed. I walked up to his office the next day to let him know I had accepted the interview. I mean, shook his hand like a man, and I moved on about my business, took my stuff back to St. Louis, stayed there for about a week. And Arkansas State called me like, come on down. And that's when I knew my journey was going to start taking off from there. And then went down to Arkansas State, did a good job at what I needed to do and the roles I needed to fulfill, and got the opportunity the next year in 2022 to go over to University of Arkansas. And so now get a bigger opportunity with a bigger role, still sacrificing, still really not making any money, to be honest. Part of the journey is when you got to work your way up, you got to start from the bottom. So, I went from making $800 a month at the Division II, having roommates, being on food stamps, to going over to Arkansas State. Now I'm still only making $880 a month now, but at least my rent is paid now. I have an apartment and rent is paid by the school, and I'm working on my master's degree. So now I'm making a little more money, and then going to Arkansas, now I'm getting more money, maybe $1,700 a month. But now still working on my degree, still working on my master's, still just embracing and enjoying the opportunity. And from there, I knew the story was gonna keep getting even more juicier from there. So after that, I got the opportunity to do an internship for about 2 weeks with the New England Patriots during training camp. So I did that, and I had the opportunity, and I killed that. And actually, one of my old college coaches was the one that introduced me to the opportunity because he was actually on staff. So did that, went back to Arkansas for the season, finished that thing on up, and was blessed enough to get a call back from the New England Patriots like, "Hey, we want you to come work this East-West Shrine game with us. This is basically your interview."
Yeah.
So they flew me out to Vegas, worked the East-West Shrine game. We did a great job out there, and went back to Arkansas for about a month and a half, and was blessed enough to get the call back like, "All right, we done with the honeymoon phase. We want you to come for good."
Wow.
So got that opportunity, and been up here in New England ever since. We had a culture change during the right after the season. I still was hired on with the new staff because coaches were already on staff. They became the head coach and everything. So I'm just blessed, man. Just happy that I got the opportunity, and I'm still writing a lot more to my journey and a lot more to my book.
Wow. Man, that's an amazing story, my brother. And just hearing the trajectory of all the things that you named, I got so many questions. I don't even know we have time to go. Because I hear from the high school days that you a hooper. And so hooper at heart, not many football players can go both ways, right? Like football players, y'all used to hitting and doing that. Not too many of y'all had that finesse to pull up and get the jumper going. But you played for the two with Coach Reed.
Coach Reed, Randy Reed.
Yeah.
Co- Hey, we had an amazing run. Was again
BJ
special
Young,
opportunity. Yep. So we had BJ 1 year,
Femi.
my 1 year.
Was it Femi? Femi was on it?
No, so that was before I got there. That was right before I
Okay.
got there. And we had BJ in 2011. And then honestly, I don't know, we had BJ Young. He was a great player for us. But we had, I tell you the secret to the sauce. We had my class 2012.
Yeah.
We had a team full of, going into freshman year, we had a team full of all AAU players. So we
Ah.
all played against each other growing up all the way up until we got to high school. Some of us were on the same teams, but we literally all played top of the line AAU ball in St. Louis.
Ah.
So when we
What's the
got to
name?
high,
Shout out some of them AAU teams from your.
hey, I'm gonna shout out my team first, team St. Louis. You know, hey, Coach
Okay.
Greg Jones, Coach Rick Wilson, like them my guys right there. They started me young, going,
Yeah.
had me just playing point guard out there, going crazy. So they did playing with my dad teams, and it
Uh
just
huh.
had me. I'm playing on three teams at one time. Going to the Catholic League
Yeah.
on Saturday, play a game, or Tuesdays to play a game, then playing with the CYC, then playing with my dad's team, then playing with the team that's actually my age was Team St. Louis. So
Yeah.
I was getting experience at all levels, playing on different teams, getting coached by different people, being able
Yeah.
to be coachable. I thought that was one of the best things that my dad did for me was
Wow.
actually let other people coach me too.
Yeah.
And so it helps you be accountable and helps you, be adapt and be coachable. So I think that's one of the things that kind of carried over throughout my journey with
Mm.
my success. But coach playing in McClure North, it was again we had one group that was just like, man, we were just steady and we all came in together freshman year.
Yeah.
I remember going freshman year, we went undefeated. My dad bought us shirts before the last game. As soon as the game over, we put shirts on at Ridna and took a team picture. The shirt says 20-0 and had
Wow.
everybody's name on the back and say freshman basketball. And that's why I knew we was gonna be special. So yeah, we went on, got older. Obviously had some couple other good players.
Yeah.
And we went and did our thing. And I love the 2011 run with BJ Young. We had Jordan Grange, Galen, all them boys, but the
Oh yeah,
2012
you
was
naming
different.
some names, man. Jordan, Auburn, and
Oh
Coach BJ
yeah,
with the Arkansas connection. And yeah, that was some good teams, man. But you brought up an interesting point that I want to uplift because there may be some young people on here that says, you know what, I'm 6 years old, but football is my sport, and I'ma just focus on football 12 months a year. How you feel about those young people that may or may not be one sport athletes? What's your philosophy on
I think that playing multiple sports helps you develop more skill sets.
that?
So
Mm,
I did I started off just playing basketball,
mm-hmm,
until I was old enough to be able to play football the next year. And I played basketball, football, and then when I was old enough to do track, I did track. So
mm,
we talking about going from the summer grind of football, early summer football, going leading up to basketball that goes all the way through. You can go all the way through to the summer with it while doing track from the spring through the summer, and then just leading to it's like a year-round cycle. But I never really had like a time where I wasn't playing sports.
mm-hmm.
It was just always the next sport run to the next sport run to the next sport. So I was always occupied as a kid, but I was always developing those other skill sets. Like people talk about me all the time, like, man, you move smooth on the court for a big guy because we still
Yeah,
hoop, we hoop on a regular, even now. So I was like, I mean, I've been playing forever. I mean, I
yeah,
always had the skill set to do it. That footwork helped me obviously in football,
I
but it
bet.
helped me more so in track because I was a spinner when I threw. So I
Mm-hmm.
had good footwork and it was just efficient. I was a spinner since I was young. My dad taught me.
Yeah,
My dad was a heck of a coach.
yeah,
Taught me everything in every sport, and
yeah,
before anybody could teach it to me. And then I went on to other people and learned even more.
mm-hmm.
So it's not a sport that I don't think he could coach, that he can't coach. So, like I said, it helps you develop skill sets that you wouldn't necessarily get in that sport, and also it helps like prolong your career as far as not getting injured. I mean, you used to the same movements all the time. Now I'm going to a different sport. Now I'm working other movements and other body parts that I wouldn't be working in this sport. So honestly, it helps you build injury prevention. And choosing one sport is just, I mean, to me, in my opinion, and how I was raised, why just choose one sport when you could do them all? You
Right.
know, granted, you had the opportunity to do them all. Know your parents will support you. Just don't just eye in on one sport. You can key in on one sport when it's time to go to college.
Yeah.
You know, be great at everything you can right now because you never know what opportunity it may lead you to once you get to that age.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why
And
I
you
would say pick the, play multiple sports.
okay? You hear that, parents? You hear it firsthand. So don't specialize your kids at 6 years old. Give them opportunity to expand their horizons and test out some other things. But Keith, you mentioned some interesting things. Man, there's so much in here. We don't have time to tap on all the questions that I want you to sort of unpack. But um, you talked about your journey with picking a school, how you had bigger schools that were after you, and you landed on a school that fit you. And you played 4 years, and then went pro. Tell me a little bit about like your experience going through college and developing as a player and the work ethic that was required of you. And then I want to hear a little bit about that transition. So after you made that big hit, and maybe we can edit this a little bit and maybe get that clip of your final hit in arena ball and how you went out. But talk to us a little bit about maybe it's a high school kid on here who's getting recruited to play ball. What is the expectation to go to college and then sort of lay it all out on the line? Talk about your career trajectory with that.
I think one of the things I had to realize, and I wouldn't say like early on, but like, you never know until you get across the situation, right? You never know until you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I would say like just the work ethic. Like I remember waking up 6 in the morning, my dad waking me up when he come home from work, and my
Mm-hmm.
mom was against it. Sister Sharon wasn't playing it,
Mm-hmm.
but she let my dad do what he do. It. He was making me work out early in the morning. As a kid, he had me lift the weights when I was like 8. It's crazy. But I'm running laps around the block. We stayed over in Dealwood at the time, but
Okay.
I would get up, work out. I would get up. He'd make me run. Either he'd ride the bike, or if it's too cold for him, he'd drive the car slow.
Yeah.
And we'd go around the neighborhood, and I'd run maybe 1 or 2 laps around the neighborhood, and then eventually run a couple hills that we had right in front of our house, a steep hill over there off of North Sluter in Dealwood. And then after I finished the workout, I would go to the back and I got to hit 25 free throws,
Mm-hmm.
on the hoop. So, and he got the clicker in his hand, the old
Yeah.
metal clicker that just count the shots like that you just hold in your hand.
Right.
So I remember those days, and we did a lot of early morning, workouts, summertime workouts that, at the time, it's a lot of kids that's not doing that right now. I mean, even I was young doing it because my dad already knew what it took to get to the level he wanted me to get to. So at the time, I really didn't understand. I just did it because my dad was like,
Mm-hmm.
"This is what we doing." So I'm like, okay, I want to be like my dad. This is what I got to do too. Like no questions asked. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
My dad said this is what I need to do. This is what I'm gonna do. But yeah, like it's just the work ethic in college and compared to what you're doing in high school is two totally different things. I mean, I was a hard worker in high school. I know guys that probably worked harder than me, that were on my team. And obviously, I mean, honestly, it took them to certain places too, like
Mm-hmm.
to the next level, which I was grateful to have those guys around me. And man, I'm just trying to put it all together. But when you get to college, it's a whole different mindset.
Yeah.
Like, think about how many kids want the scholarship that you got in the nation.
Yeah.
And you're not just playing against kids in St. Louis. You may be playing against those, but that's not who you ultimately competing against.
Yeah.
You're competing against everybody across the nation. I mean, it's only 119 Division One teams.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do to separate yourself to get the opportunity?
Yeah.
It's plenty of people that want the opportunity. And trust me, guys are working hard. And when I got to college, it was like an open door. I went into college out of shape. I didn't work out that summer before going to college, and
Mm-hmm.
I probably pulled a hamstring maybe like first week of workouts and second week of workouts, and like I'm like, man, I gotta get together. I came here out of shape, fat. This is the first time I done been able to sit down and not have to work out and stuff
Yeah,
like that, and I done took too much advantage of it, and so I had to get that squared away. And when I got there, I was just amazed, how hard people work.
yeah,
It's like it's a saying that we say, it's adapt to die. I had to
mm,
adapt real quick because
yeah,
I wasn't gonna let nobody outdo me. I got too much pride, and so when I kind of transitioned my mind over to that first off season we got, so you get there in the summer, go through the season, and then you have off season. I redshirted my first year.
okay,
First off season we got, it just like it flipped the whole switch in my head.
yeah,
Like I just turned it to what we call now a dog.
yeah,
Like I know I had the dog in me, that's why I got there, but
yeah,
I had to show them, I want to be first to workouts, I want to be first in line, first in the drills, everything. When you know how those drills go, the mat drills go in the winter, you out there on the ice on the turf. They
yeah,
got you army crawling on the turf, everything. Like I was about that grind. And
yeah,
I wanted to be about that grind because I always been a leader. Like I always been in leadership positions. So I wanted that to be my team one day, and eventually it was.
yeah.
But you got to be a hard worker. You got to sacrifice. Like
Man,
it's nothing is given.
that's such rich advice, man. And I know that red shirt life. That red shirt life ain't for the weak. Cause you working 3 times as hard
Three
as
times hard.
folks getting it. But man, tell me about like, cause I'm hearing some the influence of your parents, the work ethic they instilled in you, but it had to sound like it had to come a time where those lessons had to click for you. But when they clicked, it shows in your resume, like how you were able to extend that work ethic even beyond football. So tell me a little bit about like that transition from player mode to coach mode, because some people that's a hard transition. And so, how
Oh
was you
yeah,
able to make that transition? And what is that like? Because you may be still experiencing some of those transitions even now. But tell me a little bit about that.
man. Honestly, again, I got some good. To have success in your life, you got to have successful people around you, and
Mm,
especially something that you want to do. Like if I wanted to be, say for instance, I wanted to be a businessman. Well, I need to go network and meet some people that are successful in business, whether that's small time or big time. So, again, my parents taught me well. I always respected authority, and I've always looked to adults for advice that have been through the situation that I probably have been through. So I got a good mentor. My guy DeMarcus Covers, he actually the defensive coordinator for our staff, and
okay.
he coached me one season at UT Martin, and we've been locked in ever since. But
Mm,
um, honestly, he would tell me all the time. Him and my other coach Trey Scott. Um, I mean, it kind of started maybe in high school. I would say Coach Shoddy, Coach Brown will always tell me like you're gonna be a good coach one day. Like they would
mm,
tell me that while I was in high school, and so a lot of people look to me for leadership in that aspect on the field. When I got to college, I got to repeat. I got to repeat the same thing. It's like my coach told me, "Hey, you're gonna be a hell of a coach one day. We're gonna, once you get done playing, get the plan out of the system. Once you
yeah.
do that, come on over to this coaching world." And
Mm,
so, I talked to my guy, Coach DC, and he was like, "Hey, just go get you a job. Just go get a college job anywhere. You got to get it from the ground up. You got to get out the mud. It is what it is. But trust me, like you good enough, you'll be able to get it out the mud." So,
wow.
and that's how I actually found my first opportunity in Missouri Southern from Jeff Sims via Facebook. He made a
Yeah.
Facebook post looking for assistance.
Wow.
And I actually just DM'd him on Facebook, like, "Hey, coach, you still got the opportunity open. I read it online and I see you post about it. What can I do?" And he said, "Hey, call me. Send me his number." We talked on the phone briefly, and he previously met me by recruiting. He was trying to recruit my younger brother to come to
Mhm.
JUCO, to come to his JUCO that he was at the time,
Uh-huh.
before he went on to Missouri Southern. And so we actually that's the first time we had spoke since then. And I actually spoke to him when he came in the house. He did like a 5 hour home visit. He could talk
Wow.
forever.
Wow.
But I met him during that time, had a cool little conversation, and he actually knew the DC that I played for at the time when I met him.
Okay.
So again, networking is key, right? So years later, a couple years later now, I'm looking for a job. I hit him up because he posted something on Facebook. And he's actually from St. Louis as well. And
Okay.
he gave me the opportunity, and I was like, okay, all right, this is my time. So my coach always told me, hey, once you get the plan out the system first, then come over to coaching. And I did that, and the transition was kind of like I got around some good people. First off, he wanted to show me the ropes, and other guys that were on the staff, they like, it's your first job, like, we're gonna show you the ropes. We're gonna teach you how to be professional. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying, make sure we look out for you in this aspect and that aspect. If you need anything, let us know. So you got good people around you that have your back. So they
Yeah.
kind of took me under their wing, and I was just a sponge, and I absorbed it. And every opportunity they gave me, like my first assignment was to recruit a kid from St. Louis that was going to JUCO, but we wanted to recruit him to our division too. And
Okay.
that was the time during COVID. So before I even got down there, he said, hey, you got to work on this kid. We really want this kid. He actually was going to Hazelwood West at the time. And so during COVID, I would go to his job. He worked at Popeyes. I would go
Wow.
to Popeyes, and I remember the first time he walking in Popeyes, he was a hardworking kid too. I
Uh-huh.
just went in there, I talked to the manager, I said, hey, can I pull him off the fries real quick? I just want to talk to him real quick. And the manager kind of was just looking at me. I explained to him, I'm a college coach. I'm here talking
Yeah.
to this guy, and I want him to get an opportunity to go to college. Manager was all good with it, all for it. Manager
Wow.
went back there and got on the fries while I sat in the front and talked to him for probably an hour. And
Wow.
eventually we was able to work it out, and I got on the phone to NCAA because he had some grade issues
Mhm.
that we had to get grades finalized from alternative school back to Hazelwood West because that's where he finished the classes at. And man, I was able to get the kid to come to our school, you know.
Wow.
And so that was a big time assignment for me. That's what coach earned my trust. Well, I
Yeah.
earned coach trust. And after that, it just took me under that wing, and I was listening, and anything they was telling me about, I would listen. I would get mentorship about it. So they made that transition real smooth. Just trying to learn from other people and learn from people that's done it at a high level.
Wow. Man, that I love that. I love that story, but I see that translation of your work ethic. Like in going to places that people that don't have that work ethic wouldn't go, right? Who would go to Popeyes to go recruit a kid? But that shows that work ethic. But fast forward now, because man, I could hear these stories for all day long. But I want to make sure we have enough content for the people to just be able to come through it. So if you can fast forward to like what you're doing now, because all and translate it to where you're at with the Patriots and what you do on a day-to-day basis. Because oftentimes I think people just see like the head coach. We don't know a lot about the behind the scenes or what the other support staff is. So tell us a little bit about what your day to day is and what your aspirations are for the long term. Do you aspire to be a head coach in the league? So what where are you at now and what your future aspirations are?
So now, I'm a defensive assistant on the defensive side of the ball with the Patriots, and what I actually do is kind of in the support role with the staff. I'm primarily help work with the defensive line, but on a bigger scale of things in our organization, they don't want you just to stay like grounded in one spot. So
Mm.
you kind of get to learn from DBs, kind of get to learn with the linebackers, so on and so forth. So mainly, I primarily work with defensive line, but gratefully I get to float around and kind of peek my head in here, peek my head in there, and just understand the whole aspect of defense and just learn the ball. Period. So um, right now during this time, I forgot what was the other part of the question you asked.
What's your long term goal? Like
Oh,
what?
no. So my long term goal is to eventually be a head coach in the NFL, and that's
Wow.
why I say it works, and it just God works in amazing ways because
Yeah.
I get to see it from the ground up. So a first time NFL coach, head coach,
Yeah.
and he's black. So I get to see him build the organization back from the ground up,
Wow.
and just kind of I got to learn from the first year from one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I got to learn from him individually a lot. in 1 year span, 1 year time span, from one of the greatest all time to do it.
Yeah.
What more can you ask for? That's like saying, "Hey, I got to go learn about money from Warren Buffett."
Right.
Somebody that's out there, So it's like, okay, I got that opportunity. Great. I learned so much in a year. Now you get to see first time NFL black head coach. You get to learn from him now.
Yeah.
So it's like you get the best of both worlds. I got to learn from the greatest, and now I get to learn from a brand new head coach.
Wow.
So it
Wow.
is it kind of puts it in a big perspective. Like my goals are closer than I think.
Mm.
Like it, they're never too far. Even though the journey may seem far back in 2020, it's 2024, and I can still see the dream.
Wow.
Sometimes I tell people I'm not even living in reality.
Wow.
I coach in the NFL.
Right.
Like that's less than 1%. Where less than
Wow.
1% of the world is 32 teams. 32 teams in the world here in the United States for the NFL, and you coaching on one of those 32 teams. That's a blessing in itself. That's not reality.
Yeah.
Reality is like some people don't even have a house over their head. Some people don't even
Mm-hmm.
got clothes on their back, food in their belly. But I'm coaching in the NFL. Like
Wow.
it doesn't get no better than actually seeing your goals in front of you and actually keep pushing towards it. And when I was deciding to change and go to different schools, as far as like going to coach at different schools, I got a good word of advice one time when I was trying to decide which school I wanted to go to work at next. And a guy on the phone, he told me, he said, "Hey, do what's gonna get you closer to your goal."
Mm.
I said, "You're right. So I can go to this school, start making some money, or I can go to this school, had to sacrifice some money just for better opportunity."
Right.
And that's what I did. And now I'm here today to be able to talk about it.
Yeah. Wow, man. That's an amazing journey. It shows your faith in God to just trust the process and see it through. And like you're saying, God's blessings like are beyond our even wildest imagination. And I'm encouraged by your story because I don't like you said, the story ain't done. Like this is only the beginning. And I believe that God has some amazing stuff for you in your future. We may be when you putting on that Hall of Fame jacket in a few years, have to pull this video back out and be like, you see, he told y'all, he told y'all. But
Oh,
we
I forgot
yeah,
to
go
answer
ahead.
the other part of the question.
Yeah,
So you asked what I was doing now.
yeah,
So now, last year, I have that blessed opportunity to have my first football camp,
that's right.
totally free, and I threw it back in my high school,
Yeah,
and I had so many volunteers come and work the camp. The people that I know,
yeah,
coaches that I played for. We had some major coaching going on at the camp, and
yeah.
it was just an O line, D line camp for skill development. And
Mm,
so all we did was develop skills, and kids got to learn. It was for kids from 7th grade through 12th grade, and it was amazing. Free camp for the kids.
yeah,
They got. We were able to get enough donations to feed them. We were able to have T-shirts for the kids, string book bags for the kids. We were able to put a workout routine card together, put it
wow.
in everybody's bag like a little daily routine. I won't share it all, but a daily
Yeah,
routine that I suggest every kid should have, which was like maybe four sets of 25 push-ups a day,
yeah,
just 25 sit-ups or any type of core work of that nature. Jump and rope for 5 minutes. You got 1 minute intervals each. All that stuff on the card for a daily routine. We was able to provide jump ropes for the kids as well. Shout out to my guy, Dr. Hendricks. He donated some arm sleeves for the kids to have. We were able to get them in the bags. Just so much stuff that we were able to do, you know, just with the first time camp alone, off of people just being generous and helping us out. And I wanted to make sure I keep it free. So now this year we're throwing a second camp. It's gonna be
go ahead
on
and
a
throw them
better.
dates out there so we can make sure we promote it.
So this year, July 6th at McClure North High School, we'll be throwing the second annual trench camp for grades 7 through 12, offensive lineman, defensive lineman. and kids that want to just learn the game about that. And that's the skills that we teaching. It'll be in McClure North, and I know it's going to be a big event. We got more. We got actually. We'll have a couple sponsors this year. Hopefully, I can share those soon. And I think it's going to be a great event, and anybody's welcome. You have to sign up via our link. We only allow up to a maximum of 200 participants. So once the QR code and link gets around, once it fills up, it fills up. But this is a camp that I want to keep going for years to come. And I believe that it'll grow next year to where we can have it with all positions.
Wow.
You kind of gotta take baby steps first so you can get it squared away. But this year, I think it's going to be a big deal, and I believe we should be able to fill up all 200 spots this year. And it's over from 7th grade through 12th grade kids, and it's going to be a fun event. Now it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot, but hey, only the strong survive, man. Honestly, that's what it is. Sometimes it's going to be hot. Sometimes it's going to be cold, but I'm going to be out there right with you sweating. So it don't matter if it's hot or cold, I'll be there. As long as you're there, that's all that matters. We'll work with the rest. So everybody's welcome. 7th
Say
through
that date
12th
one
grade,
more time for the people.
July 6th, 2024, at McClure North High School will be the Trenchway Camp, second annual Trenchway Camp. And sponsored by the Jones Way Foundation. So just come out. We'll drop the QR code. Dr. Mike, I'll make sure I send you the link and the code. And anybody want to holler at Sister Sharon Davis, she'll have the QR code on hand all the time. So she kind of like the head honcho with that. I let her handle that stuff. Her and my sister, Imani, I let them handle that stuff. And let them get squared away with that. But
Yeah.
I'll be at the camp. Don't worry. Y'all talk to them to get signed up, but I'll be at the camp. We'll be ready, locked and loaded. Trust me.
No doubt. And we already know, if you know Sister Sharon, she gonna have the logistics taken care of. And we so excited about this, man. And we so excited about your future and all that you have going. I have to shout out Dr. Hendricks, my former teammate. And I didn't know about the connection with him and Keith. And I'm glad to hear that some sponsorships are underway. So we can guarantee that the Friendly Temple family gonna support any way we can, and make sure we promote it and do what we can to support this initiative. But man, listen, Keith, I so appreciate you for giving us some of your time on a Saturday morning to be able to share your story, because I know that your story is going to be impactful to a lot of our young people. Young people who need to see this in action. But in closing, man, give some parting words for the young people, encouraging words that can help them. Maybe they in a rough situation, a rough time. Give them some encouragement as we close out.
Just understand, I always understand the work ethic that it takes to get to the next level. To reach your goals, it takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of sacrifice and just having faith.
Yeah.
I mean, if you set a plan and you lay it in front of you, you understand that God will answer your prayers. It may not be the time frame that you think it'll happen, but you just stay persistent, stay prayed up, stay faithful, and He'll answer your prayers however need be, and He'll put you in a situation that He feels is best for you. Maybe if you may not think it might be the best situation at the time, He'll fix it. He'll definitely fix it. And one thing I always learned was keep those networks open. Because the toes you step on today might be the foot connected to the leg that leads to the butt you got to kiss tomorrow. Really.
Oh, man.
That's just the truth.
Yeah.
So always carry yourself in a respectful manner. People will never forget that.
Yeah.
And understand you can always help the next person out. And one thing one of my mentors just told me this the other day. He said that everybody you help out, forget about them. He said, forget everybody you help out, because those you help out, they're not going to forget about you. Just like you never forgot about the people that helped you out.
Right.
So if you help somebody out, forget about it. It's okay. Forget about that you helped them out, because they're not going to forget the hand that you gave them to help out.
Wow.
So just stay faithful. Just stay encouraged. Just know it's more to the world than just what you see on a day-to-day basis.